this is December 14th, Sunday?
I don't
Is that
know
what
if
your
it's a
notes
Sunday.
say?
No, that's, no.
Sea of Galilee.
My
not
handwriting
Sunday.
is terrible, yeah.
Okay, so it's
Sea of
12:42.
Galilee
Sea
is pretty different from Sunday.
Yes,
Yes.
looks like Sunday. Okay, Sea of Galilee and Golan Heights. And our boat is docked at Haifa. We get on a bus and travel to Capernaum.
Yeah, Capernaum is on the Sea of Galilee, so this is over in this part of the Rift Valley that the Jordan River runs in. And it's a large freshwater lake. And
Even though it's called a sea, it is fresh water. It's not salty water.
Right. And so getting there, we had to go over some hills and through some valleys. And one of the things that we saw was banana plantations, which in Israel are interesting because they put this netting over it. And we saw it all over the place. It has holes, at least in the sides, so that birds and insects could get in, so it doesn't seem to exclude them.
I thought it was for birds, too.
Could be. I saw some pretty big holes in the side.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't.
Yeah.
Okay.
What I heard them say was that it was for moisture retention. But I'm not sure how that happens. I don't know if it just provides some shade or, what. Anyways. So we saw some of those, and we ended up at Capernaum. And you've been reading up on Capernaum.
Yes, because I couldn't remember everything that they had said about it. So Capernaum is on the Sea of Galilee. It's where Jesus performed the miracle of the loaves and fishes, where he made loaves and fishes food for 5,000 people, I think, something like that,
I think that's right.
out of a few fish and a loaf of bread. Jim says he remembers Jesus calming the sea. I don't remember that miracle, but that was another one. There was another miracle where he cured a paralytic, a man who was paralyzed, and also he preached in the synagogue there. It said that he preached in several synagogues around Capernaum. One where he probably preached was in Magdala, which was the home of Mary Magdalene.
Oh, that's a good one.
So,
he acquired his first apostles here.
yes, this is where he began his ministry. He moved from Nazareth. He almost got run out of Nazareth. I'm not sure what was happening there, but he for what he was preaching. And he moved to Capernaum. And he was in Capernaum for about 3 years. And Capernaum was a really good place for him to be. He moved to Capernaum because it was outside of the Roman, just outside of areas controlled by the Roman Empire. So he wouldn't have to deal with that and their laws and restrictions. But it was also, as it turns out, a major thoroughfare between Egypt and Syria. So there were travelers every day that were going through Capernaum. So the knowledge of his miracles and his preaching could be spread pretty widely. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
And you said that he got his first disciples there, and he probably lived in Peter's house,
Right.
which has been excavated. They think they have found Peter's house. Did you want to say something about that?
Yeah, the Franciscans have built this very, very modern church over it. It's suspended. It looks like a spaceship or something. It's suspended on 4 posts over it, and it has a glass floor, and you can look down on Peter's house.
Yeah, the foundations of his house, anyway.
Right.
Right.
So then after we left Capernaum, we went on up the Golan Heights and visited a kibbutz there for lunch. And the lunch was served in the kibbutz cafeteria. It was really quite good. Modern sort of place. And kibbutzim were serving us, and one of the fellows that had been there for many years talked to us about what it was like to be in a kibbutz, and how this one had started out as a communal one and had evolved into one that was privatized some and had different pay structures depending on the work that you did. But the essential thing was the spirit that these people had, as far as they felt like they were pioneers and reflected the true spirit of Israel and the ability to protect Israel. So often these kibbutzes were built in places like the Golan Heights that are more dangerous. And so they're part of the first line of defense for Israel. After that, we drove on over to a place, and I can't pronounce it right, Emek Habacha or something like this. It sits on a hilltop, and when we were there, it was very cloudy, so you couldn't see very far. But it was the site on the Golan Heights that overlooked Syria, and in the Yom Kippur War of 1973, it was attacked by Syrian tanks.
And Syrian and Jordan tanks from Jordan too, I think.
And I forget how many tanks there were, hundreds. It was quite
40 divisions or something like that.
Yeah. So lots and lots of tanks, and they defended these heights for 4 days until reinforcements could get there. And they're considered as heroes for having saved the Golan Heights for Israel. And there's poems to them. There's all sorts of things. You can see some remnants of tanks up there.
A memorial with names on it.
Right. Then we drove back to the ship.
Right.
And of course ate a big dinner.
Once again.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Bye, folks. Love.